already. Okay. I'm coming in a little hot. Let me turn my audio down just a smidge. There we go. Okay, audio is live. Video is going live in 5, 4, 3. Hello,
There it is.
internet. We are video. Our video is live here on the internet, I guess. I just hit my mic. I'm sorry if I bumped anybody's ears. Really, this stupid thing doesn't stay up very well. Okay. You want to... Oh, you didn't turn your... Is your light on?
Yeah, it's on. Just, I got to reposition, kind of,
Okay.
maybe.
We'll do it live.
Yeah,
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Left my window open. I got the police sirens going on in the background there.
Nice. I can't hear it, so...
Okay, good. Oh, is it that time?
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. You got to be able to hear that.
Yeah. Did you hear it? Oh, the sirens? Yeah. Oh, the sirens, you mean? Yeah, I think I heard something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here they come.
They're blaring. Shit. they know that you're live. They're coming to get you.
Yeah.
Soylent Green.
Think.
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, kids.
That was... I guess it was supposed to be a serious movie, but it was kind of funny.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be a serious movie, but the futuristic atmosphere, I think it was filmed in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't age well. So if you watched it in the early 2000s or in the 90s, it just not really too much going on there. But Charlton Heston's a decent actor.
Yeah. They did the best with what they could.
Yes.
So, jeez.
Oh, man. Okay. So, today is something of... I don't want to call it a special day, but it is a day of remembrance.
Yep.
Because today is the 11th of September, and as we all know, 20 years ago today, some jackasses flew some planes into some towers and into some buildings and killed a bunch of people, and started a war that... I need to mute my phone. Started a war that had lasted almost 20 years now, and the fucked up thing about the war in Afghanistan is Joe Biden gave the Taliban the best 20th anniversary present anybody could give a terrorist organization. Yeah. An entire country and an entire arsenal to arm their military.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to give Joe Biden the biggest piece of shit award today.
Yay! Thank you. Yes.
We're going to talk about it a little bit more, a little bit later.
Yep.
But in remembrance of 9/11, and to be cordial and reverent for the lives lost, some people did something. Carl said, "Yeah, fuck Ilhan Omar." Did you hear? Have you heard that? She was talking about 9/11. She's like, "You guys are getting all up in arms because some people did something," and that's how she described 9/11. Some people did something. What a fucking absolute piece of trash.
What a moron.
And
she got elected in,
Yep. Okay, I'm going to play our intro, and we have a special intro for today. It's going to be extended. So Scott and I think it lasts about a minute. So we're going to do essentially a minute of silence while we play the intro. You ready? I would like to put a sincere, heartfelt thank you out to all of our first responders, firefighters, EMTs, police officers, and social workers for fighting the good fight there on the front lines, running in to do the things that other people, normal citizens, probably wouldn't do.
Yeah.
They deserve our admiration and respect.
For
Like,
sure.
not everybody's built to be a hero, but those people choose to do that day in and day out.
Yeah.
They
And they went in selflessly to help and protect others, and that is heroism right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary yesterday. It's like a 6-part documentary, and this is like 9/11, One Day in America. This is from the Discovery Channel. No, National Geographic. It was actually really good, and
Yeah.
it was done really well. I enjoyed watching it. I fell asleep a few times because it's kind of long and I was tired.
Mhm.
But I fell asleep during the last episode, and I got up to go do something, and I was listening to the audio that was playing. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And so people were talking about being on a Zoom call. They're like, Zoom wasn't a thing in 2001.
Yeah.
I came back and Hulu auto played a documentary about January 6th right after a documentary about 9/11.
God.
What the like? What the absolute fuck? Like, how are those two equatable?
Wow. Yeah, really.
You had one person
man.
die as a result from January 6th, a direct result from January 6th. And it was one of the people that was, quote unquote, storming the Capitol. Except they weren't storming, they were gently guided in by staff.
Gently guided in.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that was that. So we can continuing on with some 9/11 stuff. We were reading through the 9/11 casualties Wikipedia article earlier before we started, and it was interesting because right here, most of those who perished were civilians, except for 344 firefighters, 71 law enforcement officers who died in the World Trade Center on the ground in New York City. Another law enforcement officer died when United Airline Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. He was just on the plane, apparently, is what I'm assuming here. But it was this information here. Let's see. Where was it? Pentagon. 19 terrorists died. Nobody gives a shit about those idiots. Of the 2,977 people who died, 2,605 were U.S. citizens, and 372 non-citizens, except the 19 perpetrators. More than 90 countries lost citizens in the attack. And so they have a list of them here. And this is actually really interesting. 18 people died from Colombia, 24 from Japan. Canada lost 24 people. South Korea, 28. Even almost 40 people from Greece died.
That's insane. I never knew about that. That all these people from all these different countries.
Well, yeah, we were talking about this before. The World Trade Center was like a place for headquarters of businesses, and they did international transactions, and they worked internationally. And it makes sense that dignitaries or like people from other countries would be coming and doing business. My aunt worked at Xerox. Worked for Xerox for the longest time. She worked for Xerox in 2001 when the September 11th attacks took place, and she told me 40 Xerox employees died in the World Trade Center attack. I think it was like 40. It was something like that. But they had technicians in there fixing Xerox machines, copiers, and shit. Yeah. And back in 2001, people still would have been using fax machines, and so they were in there fixing fax machines and shit too.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. That's crazy.
The other interesting piece in here that I thought was interesting, I didn't finish reading it. We were coming up to the clock to start the show. Was this? As of August 2013, medical authorities concluded that 1,140 people who worked, lived, or studied in Lower Manhattan at the time of the attack have been diagnosed with cancer as a result of exposure to toxins at ground zero.
Mm.
And so it's also reported that over 1,400 9/11 rescue workers who responded to the scene in the days and months after the attack have since died. So there's another 1,500 people that died because they were there, saving people from the rubble.
Right.
After the attack.
Just from all like the carcinogens and crap
or toxins and shit. Here's another interesting one. At least 10 pregnancies were lost as a result of 9/11. Wow. That's just a weird statistic they have in there.
Yeah.
Neither the FBI or New York City officials recorded the casualties of 9/11 attacks in their crime statistics for 2001. Wow. Why? Oh, because so many people died. With the FBI stating in a disclaimer that the number of deaths is so great that combining it with the traditional crime statistics will have an outlier effect that falsely skews all types of measurements in the program's analysis. That's interesting.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
But it makes sense though. You're right, because this is an outlier event. It's like let's say we have for the year 2001. Oh, so you're looking at a graph, and then all of a sudden 2001. You're like, what the fuck was this shit? Fuck.
And it would skew other statistics for the year and that kind of stuff.
So we were talking about possibly getting into some conspiracy theories about 9/11. So we're gonna talk about some things here real quick.
Yes, we are.
The tinfoil hat segment.
And I made myself a tinfoil hat.
I did not prep a tinfoil hat.
My tinfoil hat is I had a little extra material, so I made it like a.
I like the Mohawk tinfoil hat.
Yeah. Makes it easy to just grab it and put it on or off.
Just throw it away if you want.
Yeah.
But so there was I was having a conversation with John. He's in the Discord chat. He's like a Kylum Games or something like that. And we were talking about 9/11 and whatnot. And one of my coworkers, this guy, I'm pretty sure he's on the autism spectrum in some way. But he walks over, he's like, "What are you guys talking about?" We're like, we're just kind of chit-chatting about 9/11. And he's like, "Jet fuel can't melt steel beams." And he just says that real loud, just yells it at us. I'm like, I don't think you understand how metals work. So he's technically correct. Jet fuel and fire can't melt steel beams, but it can change the chemical makeup of the metal. My dad is a blacksmith, and his fire can't melt the metal, but when you take a piece of steel and you stick it into the forge, you can pull it out and literally just bend it like that. Mm-hmm. So the structural integrity of the building, those quote-unquote steel beams, were getting hotter and hotter, and so they were probably getting force from either side of the building wanting to pull it down, and so they're just bending. Yeah. And so eventually, once something gets to a point of it bending, it will break.
Yeah.
Because there's so much weight being put on those things.
Yep.
And jet fuel cannot melt steel beams, but really hot things can affect them.
Yeah. Right.
But,
so it doesn't melt them. But then I'm I know if it falls apart or those beams at the top break, there'd be enormous pressure on the floors below.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it would fall inward on itself like that? Like it did? Like
it did,
I don't think went straight down.
It didn't fall inward. It was inward. Sorry. It was like what if it I'm trying to come up with a good analogy. Let's say we took a stack of pancakes and we used butter.
Oh yeah,
as the thing that was the steel beams or whatever in between each. The pancakes are still hot and they're going to melt the butter. and the butter
Yeah.
isn't going to be able to hold the pancakes anymore, and so eventually they'll just they'll just go down on top of each other. They're not
Mhm.
going to fall over, because the way that a demolition like that happens is you have to kind of like if you set up a like a stack just a bunch of Lego on top of each other, and if you push it in one direction, it'll go that way. And there wasn't any like interjection from anything to make it fall in any direction. So the only way it could go was down, because that's just how it happened. There are documentaries that I have seen, and I've heard interviews with people that talk about this. And if you watch the video, some people say it looks like it's a controlled demolition.
Right. Right. I've seen that. Yeah, Carl brought up Building 7, which
That
didn't get
was
hit.
that was the one that was just caught on fire and then collapsed.
Yeah. Yeah. And that one really looked like a controlled demolition.
So
And
the
and there was also what's his face that said we're just gonna pull it, which is demolition terms for we're gonna bring the building down,
well
which
they
is kind of weird.
there's like that
And
happened within the first 24 hours. Building 7 falling, what happened within the first 24 hours of
right,
the attacks, correct?
really quick though, with the two towers, what do you think that they were hit perfectly to make the melting of the steel just right to where it would fall, do that pancake effect as you said? Because to me it looks like it kind of came in at an angle, which would make me think that one part would melt or get hot than
The
another, and
so
then it would fall to one side.
my theory on that is, what does fire need to burn?
Some kind of
Air.
fuel and
Air.
air. Yeah.
It needs air. And the biggest like source of air for any floor of that building was in the middle with the elevator shafts. The elevator shafts were supplying ample amounts of air up to those fires. And so where the air is coming in is where the fire is going to be the hottest. And so the fire is going to be the hottest in the middle of the building, where the air supply is coming in directly,
How was air coming in though?
because of the elevator shafts are supplying air to the to
But elevator shafts aren't open,
no,
are
they're
they?
not. They're not. Oh, what the fuck is going on with my mic? They're not technically open. So it's a shaft that goes all the way up the building. All
Yeah.
the rest of the floors don't have any kind of entry for any kind of air to be introduced, other than the windows. But those windows are designed not to be opened ever.
Right.
And so the biggest source of air is coming from the first floor through the elevator shaft going up. Have you ever stood by an elevator? You can feel a draft coming through the elevator door when you're waiting for it.
Yeah, maybe
So
a little.
it's
Yeah.
pulling air, and so air is like a liquid. It fills and goes to the place that it's being drawn to. So the fire's pulling the air from the bottom up, and so the fire's creating a vacuum, pulling
Hmm.
the air up through the elevator shafts into the area where the fires are happening.
Hmm.
That's just my theory based on what I know about fire.
Yeah. Okay.
As a young boy, I did a lot of experimenting.
Yeah. Nice. I have not heard of this being the reason why.
That's
That
like again,
it would be in the center there to make
again
it fall.
that's just a theory that I literally just came up with.
Okay.
But it makes
Okay.
sense. I think it makes sense. Like
I
based
don't
on
think
my,
that's enough air.
you don't think it is?
No.
Well,
I don't
you also
think
have
I don't for that much for how hot that was supposed to be and how much was burning. I don't think that's enough air.
well, the other thing is it's a catastrophic failure. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Right.
And so as soon as one floor fails, the whole thing's coming down. So
Yeah.
we didn't need all
Again,
of this
though,
steel.
I just don't think that it would have fallen flat down like that. I think there would have been a weakness on some other section of the floor or whatever, and it would have gone that way. It would have like slid off or fallen to whatever the weakest part is, if that makes sense.
Let's watch the video. I'm curious. I haven't seen this. Here, let's watch this.
Take two.
Oh, this is one of the best.
One.
This is as
pull
close
this
as
up.
we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if there's
Yeah,
a better.
I don't know. That look like, I mean, it's going straight down. That just doesn't make sense to me. That it would go straight down like that.
This is a video of somebody talking about it here. Let's say so. Let's watch some of this. So yeah, here's some footage of it.
Okay, no, it is kind of crumbling to the side there. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's kind of coming off from all sides,
Yeah.
but it is kind of going down at the same time. I think this video is like steelworker talking about how this. Oh, see. Oh, I think I've seen this video before. Here, let's watch some of this. What do you think? Because this talks about it.
Yeah.
Let's turn this on.
Trade Centre, the collapse was due to the design of the building. They had very, very stiff beams, because they're very long beams, spanning right from the lift core in the building out to the perimeter columns. So you didn't have internal columns that are going to compromise the ability to rent floor space. The impact of the aircraft itself would have knocked the fire protection off. And so when you got expansion of those beams in fire, they pushed against the very, very flexible columns and knocked the columns out of alignment, and eventually that led to the collapse. And as a result, of course, they don't design buildings that way anymore.
Fire research found that using less rigid steel beams, supported by columns at regular intervals, was preferable. The beams buckle and sag, but the columns hold them in place.
We've shown that because you get this sagging taking place, and it's allowable, that you actually don't need fire protection, which can be up to 30% of the cost of the steelwork. So that's very substantial.
That's quite a saving.
Yes, and the groundbreaking research that we've done is in the connections, because we have to make sure that the connections are robust enough when you've got the fire acting on the structure to be able to hold that beam in place so you don't get failure. It keeps the fire in a compartment, and it allows the occupants to get out of the building.
Now this is
Interesting.
Neat. We're learning.
And when we learn, you all learn. Yeah.
Marshall says, I think it's called a domino collapse. It is when the weight of everything above starts to ruin the infrastructure of the building. Didn't I already say that?
Don't quote me on that.
He also said, don't quote me on that. That's a quote directly from Marshall.
But when the weight starts falling, it increases rapidly that the rest of the building was not designed to hold. Sure.
That's exactly what that would be. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take off my tinfoil hat. This makes sense. I'm gonna keep this fucking hat though. This thing is fucking cool.
I'll make myself one too, so that we can we can, if we need to, we can do more tinfoil hat segments.
I know it's ooh, excuse me. I ate before this. I'm gonna go close my window and mess with the lighting.
And while you're doing that,
I'm gonna be live.
And while you're doing that, I'm gonna be pushing the virus of death button.
Yay!
We are professionals here, folks. So I wanted to talk about this. Is kind of a fucked up article. That's a lot better.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a fucked up article. It said COVID-19 deaths surpassed 9/11 deaths in single day. This is from WebMD. So this is a place that a lot of like housewives and a bunch of other people just go to get information about like things that might be wrong with them. Instead of like going to their doctor, they'll self-diagnose themselves.
So there was a Discord server I was in for a little while, because it was like an Among Us group.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing that for a little while, and they were all just super lefty liberals. And
is that why you're no longer in the group?
yeah, I left. And they were spouting this one day, like all of them were just repeating the same thing, like, dude, there was more deaths from one day than in 9/11. So this must have been where they got it from.
Well, one of the things that I misheard, and when I was doing the research on this, I think I misheard somebody say more people die every day from COVID than from the deaths in 9/11. Like that doesn't sound right at all.
No,
but
it doesn't.
this is where this came from. Carolyn Christ, what an absolute piece of garbage. And so
Sounds like a Karen.
Carolyn.
No, it sounds like a Karen.
Yeah, I know. So December 10th, 2020. Is that the day that they're using? The U.S. reported more than 3,080 COVID-19 deaths on Wednesday, marking the highest day so far in the pandemic and passing the number of deaths recorded on 9/11, according to New York Magazine. So my question is, if we pull up the CDC data on COVID deaths here, CDC says in at least 90% of these deaths, COVID-19 was listed as the underlying cause of death. So if we're using underlying cause of death for COVID deaths, can't we use 9/11 as an underlying cause of death for people that died from 9/11? So if we go back to our handy dandy casualty list here, we have 1,400 9/11 rescue workers that responded have died from things. So we add that to the 2,977, which comes out to be 4,300-ish deaths directly as attributed from 9/11. So we now have, this 3,080. 9/11 has surpassed this number by at least 1,000 now. And that number should be a lot lower too, because it's not COVID directly related COVID deaths.
Damn. So yeah. Really quick.
Okay.
I just did some math. So let's say that's the highest death day. 3080, right? 3,080. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's roughly 350 million people in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's 0.0000088% of the population of the United States. That sucks, but that's very, very, very low amount of people. And that doesn't even take into account, did they have a comorbidity? Were they extremely overweight, which I guess is a comorbidity?
Mm-hmm.
Were there other factors? Oh, we don't talk about those things.
Nope.
We don't talk about those things. Yeah.
So, oh man, the data here. So this is the data sheet, the data set that article got its information from. This is the data set that they're using. And so this is outcome 515,000 deaths according to this one. The CDC has 643,000 deaths. So the CDC has 100,000 more deaths than this website does. So this actually cuts it by state too. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm gonna look at Oregon really quick.
Yeah.
Wow. Excuse me. Let's see here. Cases 157,000. Tests. Where's deaths? Outcome 2,296 deaths.
And let's see. Oregon has a population of roughly 3.5 million.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna do the math really quick on that because I can't.
Yeah. Let me just bring up the old handy dandy calculator here.
Oh, that's cheating.
Oh no. Oh, it's real, baby. What is it? 2256?
2296.
Okay, 2296 divided by 3.5 million. That's 0.000565.
% of the population has died due to COVID.
Yeah.
So I was just being a little macabre here for a second. One of those numbers, one of the people of those numbers is our friend that died last week.
Yeah.
That's if this has been updated since then. This is of March 7th. Data as of March 7th. So that's what it says for hospitalization. That's for hospitalizations. Yeah, this is this website here, the covidtracking.com, is a website that's sourced by it's sourced by the public, general public. So that's why some of the data is probably off a little bit.
Does the CDC have it by state?
No, I did not find a state by state on the CDC's
okay.
website. I did some research last night while I was drinking. So like I have this whole thing written up in our show notes about this. And then I found the article, and then I'm like, oh, all of the notes that I just did are just bunk now.
Bunk.
Because I was trying to prove that every day COVID hadn't killed the same amount of people as 9/11, because that's what I thought the claim was, but the claim was in one day more people died from COVID than from 9/11. But we just disproved that, because the fucked up thing about this, though, is I was telling this is from WebMD. This is a scare tactic, and this is a website that Joe and Jane, like, everybody goes to. Everybody knows what WebMD is, so they can try to help prescribe or figure out what's wrong with them before they even see if they need to seek medical treatment. People go to this website for that kind of info, and they're being told that COVID's more deadly than 9/11. Technically it is, but it's not as big of a scourge as the fucking Taliban.
No. Yeah,
So
I wonder how many people they've killed.
This is a disingenuous argument and a scare tactic to scare people into compliance.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's fucking gross. So I just looked up the total number of deaths in Oregon as of 8 days ago was 3,419. Okay. So
not much more than what the other websites.
No. Okay, so I also went, this is a lot lower, but I went by cases, which is 297,000. Okay. So you take those deaths, divide it by 297,000, and you get 0.011%. That's out of just the cases.
So 0.01% continuing of cases die from COVID.
Right.
So so
you have a 99.98% chance of living with this thing.
We've got here from the CDC's website, death by age group. Under 45 age group, 3.2% of deaths were the under 45.
What's the other two? I can't read what it says.
45 to 64, so that's 20-year gap here. 18.7% of deaths were 45 to 64. My dad was in that age group. My dad is in that age group, and he got it, and he survived. And then you have the 65 and over group, which is 78.1% of people died.
Yeah.
That's 502,000 people. That's still a lot.
Yeah,
like, we're not trying to diminish the deaths here. We're just trying to say this isn't as bad.
No.
Well,
and to say that we're diminishing it when you and I lost a friend last week to it, like, don't give us that shit. That shit.
I do not want to use her as a token character in this conversation. Be like, oh no, I know what I'm talking about. I had a friend die. It's kind of like, I know what I'm talking about. I got a black friend. Like,
right.
I don't want to use her as a pawn or a tool to be like, hey, I know what I'm talking about. I know somebody that died. The thing is, Nate was talking to me. He's like, ever since this whole thing started, how many people in your direct friend group that you don't, it's not like a friend of a friend or a friend of a family member, how many people do you know have died from COVID? How many people personally do you know have died from COVID? Now I'm asking you a question.
Oh, I thought it was like a rhetorical thing.
Sort of, but I legit want to know. How many direct people do you know that have died from COVID?
Just Heather.
1. And there's a lot of people that still have 0 on their list. Yeah. So it's kind of disingenuous to be like, well, this is affecting everybody. No, it really isn't. The other thing is, and this is another important part, it's not necessarily the deaths, it's the long-term repercussions with um
Yeah.
like you can get like respiratory issues from COVID due to COVID.
Yeah.
And that will last the rest of your life. So, yes, you have the survivability rates, but there's also you might have survived it, but you're going to have to fucking use an inhaler the rest of your life to be able to live.
I don't know if anybody, if we're going with the whole personal thing, I don't know if anybody that had that or has that,
Has what?
like that has to use an inhaler or something like that.
No, I don't know anybody that's had that has respiratory issues from COVID. Like if it happened to my dad, he hasn't told me, but he's probably got respiratory issues from all the shitty wood that he's cut and inhaled, fucking whatever in his he's worked with wood his entire life, and he's probably inhaled some bad shit from some shitty boards that he's cut.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is going to be a COVID heavy episode. Where are we at? Okay, we got some time here. This is one of the things that we talked about in the title. Biden asks OSHA to order vaccine mandate at large employers. This is it right here. New federal safety regulations. I know how to speak. Regulations that call for businesses with more than 100 workers to require vaccinations against the coronavirus will affirm mandates already in place at many companies and give cover to employers that had yet to decide. So they are mandating companies with 100 plus employees have their require their employees to be vaccinated. Save if they're not, they have to get a weekly COVID test.
Yep. And if they don't comply with it, it can be up to $14,000 per infraction.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing here is, I noticed in this article, I wasn't sure about this, but they will also mandate that the business offer employees paid time off to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
So if you need to take a day to go get vaccinated, or 2 days because it's 2 shots, they're mandating that they give the employee PTO to go and do that. My biggest problem here is who's paying for these vaccinations? None of the vaccinations are free, but who's paying for these tests? If the U.S. government is saying you either get the vaccination or you go get tested, what if I can't afford to get tested?
Yeah.
Are the employers paying for these tests? Are the U.S. government paying for these tests? Are they doing tests on site at these businesses?
Question. Good questions.
So, I read through most of this article, and it didn't answer that question. So, I am being forced to do a thing. I'm being forced to do a thing, and the U.S. government isn't telling me that they're going to be paying for it or reimbursing me for it, or if the company that I'm working for is going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Carl said, I still don't know if it applies to remote workers having to be vaccinated. So if you remotely work from home.
Then he says, if my company asks me, then I will be done with them. Yeah.
So my cousin Jerry was like, well, if they're forcing me to be vaccinated and then they're not going to be covering the tests, then he said he's going to quit. He said he's going to go because he works at Fred Meyer. He's going to talk to his union rep and say, hey, are you guys going to be fronting this money to do that? Is this something that, because there's another article that I read that I did read through that's actually really interesting. But we'll get to that in a second. So my thing is, like, right now I'm on unemployment.
Right.
And I'm not going to get poked.
No.
It also, that means that I am going to need to be, it's going to be harder for me to find a job now. People are like hand over fist trying to hire fucking people.
I know.
And Joe Biden just made it so that 4 out of 10 Americans will not get hired because they refuse to get the Fauci ouchie.
Good job, Biden. You're really showing that you care for the working class. You really care about them, don't you, guy? No, you don't. No, you don't, you piece of shit.
He does not give a shit about
No.
the American people.
Yeah, you mentioned the job openings. What is it? It's almost like 11 million job openings in the U.S.
Yes.
right now. And you're going to make it harder for businesses to now hire people. God, there's a reason why they call him senile and sleepy Uncle Joe, because this dude just doesn't get it. He's just so detached from reality.
There was a Babylon Bee article that said something to the effect of the Joe Biden animatronic in the Hall of Presidents malfunctioned, and people were praising it for being realistic. I got the COVID.
That's great.
So,
this is interesting.
The U.S. government is mandating that we take this untested, that's barely FDA approved vaccine. And here's this: you can't sue Pfizer or Moderna if you have severe COVID vaccine side effects. The government likely won't compensate you for damages either. This is from CNBC. This is fucked up.
Yeah, these are the people that are, bent over taking it from the government, that are in bed with the government.
I'm going to...
And they're saying this, like, ooh.
I'm going to commend the writer of this article, Mackenzie Segalos, because this is one of the first articles that I've ever read where the article is summed up perfectly in the first few paragraphs.
Okay.
So this there's a reason this is all yellow, because this is essentially the whole article right here. If you experience severe side effects after getting a COVID vaccine, lawyers tell CNBC there's basically no one to blame in a U.S. court of law. The federal government has granted companies like Pfizer and Moderna immunity from liability if something unintentional goes wrong with their vaccines. It is very rare for a blanket immunity law to be passed, said Roger Dunn, a Dallas labor and employment attorney. Pharmaceutical companies typically aren't offered much liability protection under the law. You also can't sue the Food and Drug Administration for authorizing a vaccine for emergency use, nor can you hold your employer accountable if they mandate inoculation as a condition of employment. Congress created a fund specifically to help cover lost wages and out-of-pocket medical expenses for people who have been irreparably harmed by a covered countermeasure such as a vaccine, but it is difficult to use and rarely pays. Attorneys say it has compensated less than 6% of the claims filed in the last decade.
Wow.
Yeah, Carl's mentioning the National Child Vaccine Injury Act. That is actually mentioned in this article too.
Ooh.
So one of the things that it says that you can do potentially is file for workman's comp, which isn't going to compensate you very well.
No.
But since it is mandated by the job to get the vaccine, and if you have irreparable harm or anything happen to you because of this vaccine, you can file workman's comp for it.
You can or cannot?
You can. You can.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I got a thing here. So twice in this article, we got this thing. HHS declined CNBC's request for an interview. So, this whole thing is fucked up.
That's really scary if you really step back and think about it. Like, if you get some kind of debilitating thing from this, or
yes,
even just some kind of weird side effect, You can't go after anybody. Yet you are being forced to take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
crazy. That is insane to me.
one of the lines from this article kind of covers that the legal immunity granted to pharmaceutical companies doesn't guard them against lawsuit, Dunn said. It helps lower the cost of immunization. So if they had to litigate everybody that sued them for a bad batch of the vaccine or something that happened to them, the vaccines would cost exuberantly more for the government because the government's paying for these vaccines for us to take them for free. Nothing's free though.
It's
So the
all
government
about the money.
the government is helping to prevent liability to the vaccine manufacturers so that they don't have to pay out twice as much, 3 times as much, 10 times as much because the vaccines are hurting or killing people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other
There you
one
go.
is you also can't sue the U.S. government
Yeah.
for mandating the vaccine.
Even though they're getting in the way and telling me I can't have a fucking job.
Yep.
Fuck
Yep.
you. Fuck you. See, this is why I'm libertarian, man. This is why. The government wants up in your ass at all times. And this is what happens. You wanted this. You fuckers wanted all these regulations and the government to be in more and more control. And this is what you get.
I got an update on my phone that was a suggested like Reddit thread, and it was from our Oregon. So it was from our Oregon,
Yeah.
and this guy was like, "Well, Joe Biden mandated companies get have their employees be vaccinated or force testing. Why can't Kate Brown do that?" I'm like, these people are asking for totalitarian leadership.
Yeah.
There was people back when Trump was president, like, if Trump gets a vaccine out, I'm not gonna fucking take it.
Yeah.
And then a year later, they're like, you have to take the vaccine, get over it. Fuck
Yeah.
you! Just because the guy you don't like is in charge, like, even if Trump said take the fucking vaccine, I wouldn't fucking take the vaccine.
No. That's the thing with you and I. If Trump was doing this, we'd be like, "Fuck you, Trump! Like, get out of my ass! Like, I'm not doing shit, motherfucker."
This whole thing is a it's an exercise in constitutionality, and like,
and tribalism.
yes, it's definitely a lot of tribalism. Like,
Yeah.
if Trump got elected for a second term, there would be a lot more anti-vax, like, not this is not anti-vaccine. This is not anti-vaccine. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm pro-vaccine.
Me too.
I'm just anti this, whatever this horse shit is.
Yeah.
Because this shit hasn't been tested. Like, there was a joke somebody said. It was ivermectin or whatever it was that Joe Rogan took. And that got in the news. Have you heard about this? Ivermectin?
Oh yeah.
It's a horse deworming agent.
It's not really.
In 2015, it won a Nobel Prize or won some sort of prize for medicine in humans. So it was a human. It was a human medicine first, and then they found that it worked on horses.
Yeah.
Although they changed some of the dosages and whatnot. But the thing is, somebody said this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm interrupting.
I was going to say, somebody said this as a joke. It's like, okay, ivermectin's been tested on animals. The COVID vaccine hasn't.
Yeah, no shit, it hasn't. No shit. And this ivermectin, it's been around for a long time, and it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it works well for everything. And the problem is that you can't, like, it's a common like, what is it? I don't know, a common thing. So you can't patent it. You can't make money off of it. Essentially, that's why it's another reason why it's being badmouthed, is that it's an easy, cheap, like, I don't know if it's natural, but it helps with a lot of things. And if it's cheap and common, it's bad because you can't make money off of it. See, all of this, when you really look backwards and just follow all the clues, it comes back to money.
Yeah, I was gonna say
comes back to money.
I was gonna say follow the money.
Exactly.
There was an image my brother showed me that I thought was really funny. He's like, "Shh, don't tell the media we're selling horse food in our grocery stores." And there's a picture of carrots.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay, we're at about 50 minutes. Do we want to let's skip the virtual rape thing, and we'll just watch some of this Antifa thing for a minute.
You're gonna make me angry again.
Yeah, we'll end with something angry. We'll angry up the blood real good.
Yeah.
But this is the bravest woman I think I could think about at the moment.
This woman.
I do have some questions about her fertility. Because she's got 3 like really young kids. She talks about her 8-year-old daughter, and I'm like, none of those kids are 8. How many kids do you have?
Yeah. What? Oh boy. But I love that she did what Antifa and BLM have been doing, interrupting conferences and yelling and getting in people's way and everything like that. This is great.
So I'm gonna read the description here. This is from Andy Knows YouTube page. A black woman crashes a Portland press conference organized by several Antifa aligned groups, e.g., Don't Shoot Portland, Oregon Justice Resource Center, United Mutual Aid Network, etc. Ahead of a riot announced by Antifa for August 22nd, 2021. The woman called out Antifa for throwing explosive fire. Yeah, we'll just watch. We'll roll the footage. So this guy is deaf, and he's got his like translator here.
Yeah.
And so this woman is the bravest person I think I've seen in a long time.
Not the problem. The Proud Boys were not the problem. Antifa Black Bloc are the ones who threw bombs, mortars, and pepper spray at me and my children. My baby girl, 8 years old, nearly was hit in the face with an explosive by white people dressed up in all black, attacking me and my family. It is not the Proud Boys. And you, the city of Portland, and everybody who supports them needs to know this. My black children were almost hit with bombs and mortars.
Yep.
My 9-year-old son was drenched in pepper gas.
I'm going to have to. I need to keep my integrity here for a second. I hate it when people use children as a prop for political things. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I don't agree with her. I think that she's a mom and she's very emotional about this. She's not using this as a political stance. She's just like, can we just stop these assholes from throwing shit at my kids?
Yeah. It's very understandable. It's very understandable when they're all about like, oh, Black Lives Matter, but there's black children right there, a black mother, and they're getting this shit thrown at them by white liberals who apparently are anti-racist, except when you don't fall in line with their narrow view of what black people are.
I love the deaf guy's shirt that says Black Lives Still Matter. And if you notice in this, it's actually hilarious. I find it hilarious. He's got his interpreter here, who was, the guy was signing, and then his interpreter was like saying, you can see the microphones pointed at him. Yeah. As soon as this woman showed up, he starts like sign language, what she's saying to him.
Right.
Which I thought was kind of interesting.
Hey, that's what you got to do, man.
All right, let's continue with this.
Thrown by Antifa! Boy, if Black Lives Matter, you better back up!
He's deaf, Gene.
They did not! Yes, they are part of the problem! Yes, they are part of the problem, but you know what? You, and you are the problem! Every single
media, she's calling the media
denied my story! You rejected it! In favor of one man with an airsoft gun! started yet. We were shaking hands, saying our
That baby
hellos,
almost died.
smiling at each other, having fun.
Her baby,
And
her baby
Black
could have
Bloc
been
Antifa marched in, screaming, "Hail," chanting, "Hail Satan," and screaming, "Where's your God now?" Okay, it's on video, and you were probably there.
I may have been. Antifa
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah, this
Did you
guy's
hear
a
it?
fucking.
I
This guy is a fucking piece of shit. And if I ever saw this ponytailed motherfucker out, no, I'm not even gonna finish that. God damn it!
Keep going.
may have been. That is the problem in this city. They beat and terrorize an Asian gay man who still has to fear for his life, who still hides from them. They still threaten his life. A gay Asian man. Stop Asian hate. Stop black hate. The Proud Boys were invented because Antifa was the one who was terrorizing us. My husband,
She's
we
kinda
are
wrong,
a one-income family, and Antifa has been trying to get
Put your
me to
mask
lose
on, you
this
piece of
job.
shit.
And that would put 10 black people out of a home.
Your husband is
out
very
of a
dangerous.
job.
Your husband is extremely dangerous.
Bull.
Says the Oompa Loompa.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Quincy!
No,
Quincy!
you have never once seen him
Quincy!
be violent in any way, shape, or
Quincy!
form.
Quincy is
Antifa
extremely
beat up a transgender down here on these streets.
That's true.
It was a man transitioning to a woman. She was broken, sitting on the sidewalk because they took her backpack, her skateboard, and she said, "I have nothing left." She was begging for her stuff back.
Good going, Antifa.
And then the man who tried to stop them was beat in the street.
Deaf person. You're speaking over a deaf.
Oh my god.
It's the Oppression Olympics. It's
You're
the
s-
Oppression Olympics.
You're speaking over a deaf person. But what about their progressive stack? She outranks him in their fucking bullshit.
Oh, does he? Like, I don't even know. I
A
don't,
black woman would definitely outrank a white man every fucking day of the week, no matter
Oh.
their fucking disability.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming he's white. He might just be quote unquote white presenting.
I don't know. I don't
Fuck these fucking.
know. Yeah. And then here's a white lady trying to shut her up.
we must respect black and indigenous voices, unless they disagree with us.
Right.
Fuck you, Antifa. Fuck
Exactly.
this bitch. Not
Yeah.
her. Fuck
Let's
this
keep going.
bitch.
You know what? That's your deaf person. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's wrong.
I'm deaf too.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she's rubbing her back.
Let me finish.
You know, press
You
conference.
did. I do remember you.
She's not telling her to shut up.
If every news station, yeah, you're a part of the problem. The
this
worst
is good.
kind are the white liberal women. Look at me in disdain. And I'm not saying all of you.
Now what everyone else
This
is
woman
doing?
here is one of the worst kind. If you do not
Yep.
back up, if every
not
single
wrong.
one of these news stations hadn't denied my story, I wouldn't be standing here today. Proud Boys are not the problem. They have loved on my family,
Boys are the
broke
problem.
bread with me, fellowship with me, been in my home.
Ooh.
They have been nothing but generous and kind to us.
She's praising the
My
Proud
entire
Boys.
black
Holy
family.
shit.
And Antifa is the one who has spray painted in my kids' face, drenched us in pepper spray, and tried to kill us.
Do black
And I'm an anti.
do black lives actually matter at this point? To
Not-
them? To
no.
them specifically?
No. Well, okay, hang on. Only if it furthers the agenda. That's it.
Well, what is it? Larry Elder is potentially going to be winning the recall election in California, and people are calling him a white supremacist. He's
Oh, of course.
black.
Of course.
Did you see the video of the woman wearing a gorilla mask attacking him?
I know. And just imagine if that was a Democrat guy.
If that was
and it was a
Obama,
white- and it was a white lady with a gorilla mask trying to throw shit at. Oh, it would be the most racist everything. This is the problem with America and blah
Yep,
blah blah.
yep. It'd
She
be
would
on
have gotten beaten and everything like that. Oh,
CNN
Oh
would
my
have had
God.
it. Would have had it like in their fucking opening on any of their fucking shows.
yeah.
All right, this is almost over.
Fascists for the record. Aren't we all?
Wait, hold on. She just said Antifa aren't the fascists for the record.
No.
Tried to kill us. And I'm an anti-fascist for the record.
No, I am an anti.
Either you're a fascist or you're anti-fascist. Aren't we all? There's no two ways around.
Either you're a fascist or an anti-fascist. Antifa are the fucking fascists.
Right.
In this
Just
fucking
because you sit there and call
situation.
yourself anti-fascist or Antifa doesn't mean you're not fascist. Actions
Well, it's-
speak louder than words, lady.
It's kind of
Get it
like
right.
it's kind of like Black Lives Matter is a good statement. It's a great statement. It's a true statement, but the statement is different from the group. Black Lives Matter as a group is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Antifa, anti-fascists. Being anti-fascist, I'm 100% okay with anybody being anti-fascist. Just if you say you're Antifa, you're a fucking piece of human fucking garbage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dustin, for the output there.
Okay, so what the problem is the news will, and all of these people will not stop with the Proud Boys. Get over it. It's not them.
Really?
Yes.
It's right there. It's right there.
Proud Boys is white supremacists, just like the mayor. No,
Proud Boys are not white supremacists. They are not white supremacists.
Can I finish? They're all working together now.
I can have a conversation with you if you need some support, because we do have a legal clinic and we do have a
You'll have your voice with your attorney.
No,
but I don't even know.
Oh, now
thing
this
before I
guy's
step
getting
away.
involved. Oh my god.
Mike Schmidt was not prosecuting them last
Fuck
year when
Mike
they were
Schmidt.
being
Fuck
arrested.
him.
Sexual offenders like Andrew J. Simmons should not even have been in the vicinity of children, as he is a registered sex offender. Mike Schmidt is white supremacy, and he is dangerous, just like Antifa. Get it right.
Oh, I love this
For
woman.
the record, either you're Antifa.
Oh, I love this woman.
Carl said this woman's my hero.
No,
for the
she's
record,
not.
for the
You
record,
are.
for the record. Shut the fuck
Imagine
up.
crumbling under the
You
pressure of
lump piece of shit. So this is the event that she was talking about. This is the event she was at. This is Patriot Prayer. They're Joey Gibson, their leader, is from Vancouver. But he comes over to Portland. I'm not gonna defend him because he kind of goes there to antagonize the liberal left or the fascist liberal left, and he kind of likes them to show up and create a scene. Because any kind of publicity is good publicity, but this whole situation, these people just came here to have a prayer meeting, essentially.
Yeah.
And these fucking idiots, I called them FAGGOT earlier. In my off time, I said that.
Yes.
Even
Not
though
on YouTube's.
Sorry,
YouTube. We bow down to YouTube.
Oh Lord, Susan Wojcicki, I'm sorry. All right, let's finish watching this.
Look, they're not fucking with anybody.
See, they just threw a firework over here.
Yeah, and then right there, boom. Wow.
Did you hear that lady? We got fucking kids here. You pieces of trash.
Oh.
These people on the black bloc.
And look, they come down there with shields and helmets.
Those people in black bloc in that video are absolute pieces of garbage. If any or all of them die from COVID, I would not cry. If any or all of them got shot by some of those people that probably were carrying guns, I would not cry. I'm not encouraging people to shoot Antifa.
I don't care. I'm honestly, I would not lose sleep over it. But I mean, look, they came there to fight and to, like, they're going into a war zone. Why would you, if you're such a nice and peaceful bunch, why do you have shields and helmets and all in black and are throwing explosives at people? That doesn't make you the good guys.
Yes.
That makes you the
right.
bad guys. You're all dressed in black. That's fascist behavior.
Do you know why they all dress in black? They have a uniform. Do you know what the uniform's for? So this is
like Nazis? I don't know.
No, this is something that I wholeheartedly believe. And so Antifa, they go there and they all dress similarly. So they have a specific uniform, wear black. And so in their posters that they make, it says wear black. Be like water, so like you're fluid within the group. So they all wear black because if one person goes and commits a crime or attacks somebody, they can disappear into the group. Mm-hmm. My theory with this is if somebody goes and commits a crime and they go back into a group of people there to support them, everybody in that group is culpable of that crime. Yep. The guy that shot that person in Portland in cold blood, point blank, everybody wearing Antifa black bloc gear at that event is culpable in that fucking murder.
Yeah.
If agree. Somebody spray paints a monument, if somebody attacks a child, if somebody attacks a woman, if somebody attacks a man, if somebody dies from one of those explosives, everybody wearing black bloc should be arrested for murder or for that crime. Yeah, and they're all culpable for the crime. The problem is the police will arrest them. It's just the fucking DA in Portland is a pussy and a piece of absolute human shit.
Yep. And nothing will happen.
Yeah, even though the black lady even called him out on that.
I know.
Was it Mike Schmidt? Those fucking assholes in fucking Portland threw the book at fucking what's his name? The guy that had the YouTube channel laughing at liberals. He was being attacked and chased by fucking Antifa, and he pulled a gun out on them. And he didn't even fire the gun. He just pulled the gun because he feared for his life. And somebody in the fucking Portland subreddit, they posted about him. It's Strickland, Michael Strickland. Uh-huh. Somebody posted about this. I'm like, he feared for his life. People were coming at him. Oh, there are women and children. They're like, who gives a fucking shit? Mob mentality is going to get people to do shit they normally wouldn't fucking do. Yeah. And he was fearing for his life. He was retreating from the situation. Well, they were just trying to chase him so that he didn't get away so that the cops could arrest him. Yeah. You were chasing him because you wanted to fucking kill that guy.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to attack him.
If I see a bunch of people in black with like shields and helmets and weapons coming at me, you think that I'm just going to be like, oh, they're fine. They're okay. Yeah, no, they're my friends. No. Any rational human being knows that, like, like these, it's like a robber. It's like a mugger. I got to get away. And I got to, like, no, fight or flight. What is it? Fight, flight, or freeze. One of those, you know?
Yes.
So he obviously felt cornered if he's going to pull a gun. And he thought, okay, there's no way out.
He's been threatened by those guys before. He's like his
so fucking stupid, dude. God damn. And hindsight's always 20/20.
It always is.
Jesus.
Oh my god. Did you watch the new Matrix trailer?
Yeah, I watched it twice and I don't know. It looks like a cartoony version. A not good cartoony version of the Matrix.
So I started watching it, and when I first started watching it, I thought it was a parody. I thought somebody had gotten all of the original actors, and they made a parody movie about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there laughing at it. I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny. And then I'm like, wait, this isn't funny.
This is serious.
They actually. This is a real thing, okay. And then I saw the name of one of the Wachowski siblings.
Yeah.
I don't think both of them are involved. I think it's only one. But it was funny because it was the Wachowski brothers, then it was the Wachowski siblings, and now it's the Wachowski sisters.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Sorry, I wanted to kind of like the only reason I brought that up because it came up on this on here.
Yeah, right there.
It's so
I just getting back to the movie. Getting back to the movie.
Okay.
It's like, okay, so I mean, Neo became one with the Matrix, but he got like resurrected, but he doesn't know who he is.
So he got
somehow Trinity got thrown back into the Matrix, and she doesn't know who she is. And
So
wait, what?
I had this conversation with my cousin yesterday. We were talking about it. Do you know why Morpheus isn't in that movie?
No.
It's not because Lawrence Fishburne wanted more money or opted out of the project.
Yeah.
It's because the Matrix Online is canon. And Morpheus died in the Matrix Online storyline.
Oh.
And so the Matrix Online exists in canon, and so Morpheus is dead. And I think what they did was they reincarnated him because they brought him back as a different actor.
Yeah.
I want fucking Lawrence Fishburne in this shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. God damn it. Well.
Also, I didn't
ahead.
want the prequels or the sequel movies. I didn't want a trilogy of these movies. The first movie was good. Second movies were okay. The Animatrix was pretty good. I just hit my mic.
I like the Animatrix.
The Animatrix, I actually really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
And I liked the interpretation that each of the animations did into it.
My favorite one was probably the kids that they found like the dilapidated building, and it had all these weird quirks, like there was all these glitches in the Matrix.
Yeah, they throw the bottle and then the bottle whatever. In fact,
they jump off something and they don't hit the ground, but then their nose starts bleeding, like as if they hit the ground.
I think I don't know if it's that one, but I think one of the Animatrix shorts had the kid. So in the first Matrix, so the second Matrix film, there's that kid that ran up, Neo, whatever. He is in one of the Animatrix shorts. He's one of the main characters in one of the Animatrix shorts, and I thought it was a really great integration into the actual movie.
Yep. And then
also there was a Matrix game on the Xbox the original Xbox, that actually was pretty good. I enjoyed playing it.
I think I have that game. Is it called Enter the Matrix?
Probably.
They took it from the perspective of Niobe. That's her name.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Captain Niobe. And
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah. And then they filmed like parts of the second Matrix movie, second and third, and put it into this game. So it's like
there was cut scenes that they filmed specifically for the game that are integrated into the storyline, because the movie and the game were like one plot, and so the game was like they sent her off, and that was a side plot, and it actually is interweaved into the film really well.
Yeah, like they contact Persephone, I think is her name in the movie, the Merovingian's wife or whatever.
Yeah.
They get a hold of her, and then they get the package or whatever. They get some kind of notification from one of the Animatrix stories, and then that's involved with Niobe, and then they get it to the Nebuchadnezzar, or they get it to Zion or whatever. So
wherever it needs to go.
Yeah, wherever the fuck it needs to go. So yeah, no, it's cool, but I probably won't be seeing this movie. It doesn't look good.
I'll just wait until it's released on HBO Max.
There you go.
Yeah. Because
I think that's what it's coming out on, right?
Let's find out.
It's that and then theaters.
I think it's both. Let's see.
It should say.
It doesn't say.
No, it should.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
there it is. HBO Max. Yep.
See it in theaters and on HBO Max.
12/22/21. 2 days after my birthday.
You're 20th of December.
Yep. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing it.
I'll probably watch. Like maybe we can just have some beers and watch it over at your place on the TV.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
TV in my living room.
We can just do a Matrix marathon.
Nah.
I don't know why anybody would want to do that.
No, I'd rather do something else.
Okay, we are 15 minutes past an hour.
That's fucking awesome. We're out of here. We're done.
Yes. Thanks for watching again. 9/11. Respect the first responders. I have the utmost respect for all of them.
Yep.
Fuck terrorists. Fuck liberals. Fuck Antifa.
You said liberals. I'm going to say fuck conservatives too.
Well, fuck them too. I didn't necessarily. No, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll go. I'll agree with that. They all suck. Everybody sucks.
Yeah. But everybody's beautiful at the same time. We love you all, and thanks for joining in. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Be sure to. Do you have the cup handy?
I don't.
I don't have mine. Mine's in my sink.
But you all know what to do. Twirl your Tweety.
Hit that thumbs down button 2 times.
That's right.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your
Share.
friends, especially if we say something you disagree with. Make sure your friends know that you disagree with it and why you disagree with it. If we say something that's factually inaccurate, and we have been called out in the past, and we've corrected ourselves
Oh yeah.
about things that are factually inaccurate, please be sure to leave a comment. Email us, seriouslycast@gmail.com. Tweet at us. You can direct message us here on YouTube if you want. Just make sure that we are accurate with the facts. The opinions might not be as accurate, but the facts.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Thanks again, folks.
It's been
Really
a
appreciate
time.
it.
We're coming up on 1 year in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I think I'm gonna try to plan something fun, something big. We'll see about bringing Nick in. We can have the 3 of us.
Yeah,
Just
maybe we can
talk.
do some kind of cool thing for 1 year anniversary. That'd be awesome. Yeah, let's talk about that, Ike.
Yes. Also, maybe what if we brought Nate in too?
Oh
'Cause
boy.
we can have all of the in the last year. We can have every single person that's come on and been on the show,
Yeah, that actually sounds. Maybe we can do that.
and we could maybe do a 2-hour special.
Ooh.
Because
Ooh.
with 4 people, we're gonna need to have time for everybody to say their piece,
Yeah.
and so we're gonna
Got
double
a
the
lot
amount of
opinions.
double the amount of people, double the amount of time.
Yeah. Double the fun.
Fresh starts better, the fresh and full of life.
On that note,
Double mint gum.
hit the button.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See ya.